This is just on Jonty James. Thank you, brother. So, this is just on with Jonty James. We've got my main man Ryan here, brother that I have met and connected with on the Gold Coast in a few different capacities. I think the first time we met at Social Brew, we caught up, had a coffee, had a really, really powerful chat about all things, I guess, just being a man, and you know, and I guess we've had very similar aspirations in terms of building our own businesses, creating freedom for ourselves in terms of being able to work and live as we please in some way, shape, or form. And yeah, I've constantly been inspired by you. Every time we've caught up, we've always had some beautiful things to share with each other. We've always been able to get to a really nice point of connection, and whether that's on the beach doing some breath work or a multitude of other things that we've been able to have, or at different events, or whether you've come to my events and things like that. We've been able to have some really wholesome times, man. So for that, thank you. And I'd just like you to introduce yourself and just share a little bit about you and what you're up to.
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy to think that, like, when we caught up at the cafe, it was like we were there for a long time. We're like, oh shit, like, look at the time. And one thing that really stood out for me was we both have such a drive for not only creating a life by conscious design, but also creating impact as well. And I know that you know, you are led by creating impact, and I like to surround myself with people that are actually led by creating impact and actually helping people instead of just helping themselves. So I think that's why I get on so well.
Thank you, bro.
But yeah, I guess a bit about me. Like, you know, this whole inner journey, I guess that's what this is all about, is, you know, speaking on my journey and how I've gotten to where I am today. And man, it really started from, you know, I dropped out of school. Never really, you know, my aspirations were to be a professional athlete in some sort of sport. I just always wanted to just make it, simply because I saw athletes and people doing their sport as a job, as freedom. But that's all I truly wanted, was a life of freedom. But then I dropped out. I became a carpenter. That was the next best thing, was starting a carpentry apprenticeship while I was racing motocross. And I got really good at that. I was 21 years old, running my own carpentry business, managing job sites, working with industry-leading experts. I was doing well financially as well. You know, one of my highest weeks as a 21-year-old carpenter with my own business was $15,000. And
at the time, you're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. And I spent it all pretty quick too. Because, you know, when I was building and I was in the carpentry industry and I was a tradie and I was doing all of these things, and I had mates that were at university and, like, doing all these other cool things, the reason I became a tradie was not for me. It was that rite of passage for my dad and for the father. And I notice a lot of men go through that, and that's why obviously I do what I do now, is they either seek the approval from their dad, either through sport, by trying to perform in sport, and if they can't do it through sport, they then do it through work. And if they can make money, they can be successful in their job and their career, then you're a man. Well done.
Daddy will love me.
Yeah.
I'll have daddy's approval.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, and it's like, he'll finally give me a hug and tell me he's proud of me.
Which is probably would have never even happened anyway, right?
No.
Because a lot of dads are very emotionally unconnected.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's
not all,
and
though. There's some good ones out there.
It's that. It's either there's two ways about it. They were always there for you and they showed up for you and they were always there, but because that generation, they were working so hard to give you everything they didn't have. They weren't there emotionally, and they were emotionally unavailable. And then because of that, I think it's just as hard having the father figure there in your life, present, but unavailable emotionally.
Yeah.
And then you kind of grow up with that seeking approval, seeking validation, seeking that yeah, I want to show you I'm a man. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel you, bro. My decision to do banking was based off hearing my dad say, wow, Grant's son got a 25K bonus in his first year of banking. And I heard that when I was 12. And I was like, well, Dad's impressed by someone that earned lots of money doing banking. I need to do banking.
Yeah.
I remember reflecting on that and connecting to that one particular moment in my life as one of the probably the main decisions as to why I went into banking, which is probably much the same as why you went into being a tradie, right? It was because of something that you were programmed into believing as a child as the path forward to get approval.
Yeah. It's a
wow.
It's a wild thing, especially like as men, like we're growing up as the boy. We have that psychology, so we are literally in a state of like our mind is set in that boy psychology as a child, and when we don't, and all the child is ever seeking is for the father to go, you're wild, you have what it takes to be a man. Yeah.
And I back you, whatever you do.
And I'm proud of you and I love you. That's all a boy is seeking. When a boy gets that, that's his rite of passage.
Yeah, he's like, we're on.
Yeah. And unfortunately, obviously everyone's doing the best based on the level of consciousness and knowledge that they have, right, at the time.
Yeah. They're just projecting what was projected onto them ultimately, right? So you did the tradie thing.
Yeah.
And then what happened after that?
I really, obviously because my career as a tradie was inauthentic to me, to my heart. It wasn't my true burning desire of what I actually wanted to do with my life. And what always happens is when you're not true to your heart is you hit rock bottom. You experience depression, anxiety, all of it, right? You go through the relationships and you seek an escape through the voids, like partying, girls, chasing women.
This is all the stuff you did.
Yeah. This is all the stuff I did, right?
Likewise.
Yeah.
Reflecting on that, like.
Yeah.
So you went from the peak of 21, having this 15 gram week, like fuck, my life is sorted, to depression, down, having no real sense of purpose. What allowed you to move forward from that, or what did you find within that experience that helped you move forward?
Yeah. So the depression and all of that was always there. Like it was always there because I was never, I wasn't truly tapped into my purpose and what I truly was most passionate about. So, that whole career, my relationships were built off trauma.
Yeah.
So everything was just a downward spiral. And then that's what really led to some really rock bottom moments where I really questioned, it'd be more painful to stay in this world than it would be to leave. And I know, unfortunately, lots of men experience that. And, there's a few decisions like that, not decisions, but a few experiences like that where I really started to question, what's this all about? There's got to be more to this. And, within that period, I was starting to listen to podcasts and started reading books and just started to shift my internal environment a little bit.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't until I really removed myself from my environment. We went on a holiday to Thailand, and a family holiday. We're on this like secluded beach. Like it was absolutely incredible. And because I was able to get out of the shit that I was in, right? I was able to take a step back.
Removed from it all.
Yeah. We get so stuck into it sometimes that we're just blinded by all of the things that are, in our current circumstance. And being able to remove myself, I could have a look and be like, that's truly not the life I want to live. It's not the direction I want to go. What I'm actually passionate about is is growth, is helping people, is development. Like that's what I'm, the burning desire that I have is in that aspect. It's not building houses for people and working in the 40-degree heat in the rain, slogging away, being surrounded by majority of those boys on the job site, and they're still boys, a lot of them.
Yeah.
So that was the shift and the turning point, and that 15K week that I made at 21 years old, 3 weeks later, we'd gotten back from the holiday, because I finished up that week for the year.
Yeah.
Biggest week.
Boom.
Went on a holiday, and literally after that holiday, I put my trailer and all my tools in the shed, closed the door, and it still sits there to this day. I have not touched it. Yeah, I have not even touched it.
This is your parents' house.
Yeah, it's at my dad's, and I've got thousands of dollars worth of tools, trailer, equipment, everything just sitting there. Like everything I invested into for like my 6 or 7 years in that industry, just sits there. That was just, well, call it avoidant if you want, but yeah.
Really just locked away all the pain from the past.
Get away from it. Yeah.
I'm not gonna process you. No, I'm sure you've processed and worked on a lot of it. So I have to ask, what are you gonna do with the stuff? Are you gonna sell it? Sell it and reinvest in something for your current business.
Look, I've tried that with the old programming of like the previous generation. It's like have a plan B. You never know. You might need it one day. So okay, just sit it there. Might use it one day. Do some renovations somewhere, but
it'll come in handy.
Yeah. So that was the decision. And then I was like, well, okay, what am I going to do then? And it was like, well, I've always wanted to be a PT. And it was the first time I listened to myself, apart from, like, it's the first time actually listening to what I truly wanted, not what other people's opinions or belief systems have either programmed me or told me that was possible, right?
Yeah.
Because I always was told, you can't make money as a coach or a PT or, in those industries, like you're wasting your time. And I copped everything. I had builders that were like successful builders. Like I have the messages on my phone still, like them reaching out to me and saying, like, why are you throwing this away? You're wasting, like, I can't believe you're doing this. Like you're wasting such a talent and skill and all those years. And that's like that was the first time I was like, I'm listening to this for the first time.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest turning point, the start of this whole journey.
Wow. And when did you start being a PT?
I had my PT cert before I finished carpentry.
Okay.
I wanted to do it just simply for further learning, to understand about the body, because it's what I was passionate about. So I was learning it on the side of building and
training while you're working. And like, cool, why not learn about this more?
Yeah, and I had coaches majority of my life. When I was racing motocross, I always had coaches. When I was playing rugby, I had coaches. So I had a lot of training background and knowledge from my previous embodiment and experience of training and coaching. So that gave me a massive upper hand. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and then
PT life.
Yeah.
Much the same as me, bro. Banking to PT.
Yeah.
And then, so tell us, what do you do now? How has it all progressed, and where has it taken you to in your life?
Oh, how good's that sun first? It's quite interesting with the whole PT world. Like I watch PTs go through their journey now that I've gone through it, and it's like they go from and it's directly related to the energy centers as well. They go from more the physical, transforming the physical, and they start moving. They next go to the mind, They go, wow, if I transform my body, I can start to see the results there. I wonder if I could transform. Then they get into mindset.
Yeah.
The mindset starts shifting, and then they're like, what's up? Like, what's next? There's something more out there. And then they get open to the spiritual, and then they become super tapped in. Yeah. Yeah. It's like the journey of the conscious PT.
Yeah. The journey from PT to coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually saw a video on Insta the other day, and it was like something like the 2023 awakened man path, and it was like tradie, and then it was like PT, and then it was like mindset coach, and then it was holistic coach, and then it was like spiritual guru, and the final one was like the love and light of this guy, like
just pure like, consciousness.
Someone sent it to me, and I replied, I was like, that's me.
Yeah,
but it's such a good path, right?
It's true.
It's actually a really beautiful path when you think about it and connect with it. It's, first of all, and it's much the same with my journey, is I started working on my body first. Cool, how can I get fit? How can I get strong?
Yeah.
And I tested myself in so many different ways. And then same thing as you, started learning and listening to podcasts, reading different books. Was like, oh wow, okay, cool. I can start to flip the switch in my mind a little bit. I can change things up. And then down the line, started learning about emotional connection, and read a few books around feeling the body and feeling what's present and feeling your emotions and your energy. And then obviously with all of that was learning a spiritual connection as well. And ultimately it gets you to a point where you can, I guess, be self-managed, right? Like where you're starting to break out of, I guess, the traditional systems and the paradigms where we ultimately are the creator. When we can work on our body, our mind, our emotions, and our spirit, and we can connect those all, we can really serve ourselves, but serve others at the same time as well. And I can see that you've done pretty much exactly that.
Yeah.
And you've become a guru now.
In some aspects, yes.
Yeah, we're gurus of our own way.
Yes.
So you're coaching men now. Can you tell me your purpose that you said to me before?
Yeah, so one of the best things a man can ever do is get clear on his purpose. And for a man, like I can't express enough for a man to like cry, sweat, do like work so hard and discover what it is that you're truly here to do. Because a man that's on purpose is following, first of all, his heart. And it's not about the purpose, it's about he's following what's most true to him, and he's expressing his gifts that he's here to give to the world. And because he's honoring that, he's more trustworthy. You can trust him because you're like, he's following his own inner guidance, and therefore I can trust him because he stands for himself.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not necessarily about the purpose and the impact, but that alone will create impact around the world.
Yeah. Just coming back to really authentically understanding yourself and operating from the heart, regardless of what you're doing. You know? Like, I'm sure there's many tradies that are actually really authentic and in their hearts, right? And they live, that is their purpose, and they fucking thrive it and they froth it. Obviously that wasn't your path, but now you've been able to channel that in. So what are you channeling it into?
So for me, it's helping men step into the healthy, conscious, embodied masculine energy so they can create the most meaningful life possible for themselves and for their family and for the people around them. That's my purpose. That's what I know I'm here to do. And I have such a clear vision of it. I can see myself transforming thousands of lives. I've worked with so many people already, and connecting the dots backwards, it's everything that I've gone through the relationships, through working through the father wound, healing that deep sense of not feeling worthy enough because I never actually got the approval from the father. I had to then go and see it from a different perspective, work through those beliefs and that trauma and those woundings, and prove to myself that I'm worthy enough. And I'm more than good enough to have every single thing that I want and more. That's what I'm here to do. And what really got me from PT to here was PT was getting closer to where I wanted to be. I was training high-level business owners and athletes in the gym, and what really was like lit me up and in that career was speaking to people, transforming their mindset, like talking to them on the emotional level. And I remember it was probably within the last year of me being a PT, I was working with some clients online for just personal development. You know, integrating everything I've learned in the last 7 years of my personal development journey. And I realized that, you know, I would have a business owner that's making millions of dollars a year coming into the gym, and we wouldn't even train. We'd sit down and have coffee and we'd talk about what's actually going on in their life. What's actually stopping them from getting results in the gym?
Yeah.
Or why are they in there trying to get results, trying to be someone that they're not? So I was like,
You're like, I need to get paid more for this.
Yeah. Doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's and then, you know, just continuously doing the work. Like one thing was, you know, obviously going to the events, working with coaches. I've invested tens of thousands of dollars into my personal growth and development within the last 7 years of this journey. And with that, refining my values, what I'm here to do, my mission, moving through the shit and the layers of the things that are actually holding me back from being my true authentic expression of myself. Moving through all that stuff then opens up this clearing of like, this is actually what I want to create for myself, and this is the impact I want to have in the world. And with that, I had, you know, just this clear vision probably a year ago of like, this is what I want to do. I want to work with men and help them go through what I've gone through and step into the conscious embodied masculine energy, because at the moment there's such a lack of it. And what it's doing is it's forcing women more into their masculine energy, and then they don't get to tap into their true essence and their true power of their feminine body, their feminine flow, their emotional body, their creativity. And then men are then being pushed out even more into either the controlling, abusive, masculine, the macho man, or the repressed, the
feminine masculine.
The feminine, I'll just watch
Tail between
movies
the
all day.
legs, no drive.
Yeah, no drive, no motivation, just struggles to communicate, just completely neglected his
Would you say those are all
emotions.
Experiences that you've been through?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reflecting, I'm like, I've definitely been at that phase and I've been at this extreme phase. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the embodied masculine, what is something really practical that a man can do to start to embody the healthy conscious masculine within them?
The first thing that comes to mind is awareness.
Awareness.
Because without awareness, you can't have the awareness, right? You can't bring to the conscious mind the unconscious behaviors, actions, thoughts, emotions, feelings.
Yeah.
So without the awareness of the emotional, without the awareness and the emotional intelligence to understand what's coming up for you, to understand what's happening around you, to understand maybe how people are feeling around you, or the actions that you're actually, and the behaviors that you're actually playing out.
Yeah.
Without the awareness, nothing can be done.
Yeah. So self-awareness.
Yeah.
How would you, like straight away for me, I think self-awareness, like writing. Journaling and writing is like a huge thing that has supported me in building self-awareness. What's something that's supported you in building your self-awareness?
Yeah, many things. To give it some context as well when it comes to awareness, the conscious masculine, pure masculine is resting consciousness. It's grounded consciousness.
Yeah.
You're connected, you're grounded into the earth, but you're also aware, you're conscious. So developing that level of awareness, it's the person who has the deepest breath in the moment has the masculine pillar. They're holding that masculine pillar. You'll see, and it's something to question yourself and notice, like how much do I fidget? How much do I move around? How much am I looking? How much do I struggle to just actually just sit and just be still? The conscious masculine is about stillness, calm, groundedness, being centered, having direction, being able to hold this strong container of certainty and trust and integrity and all of these healthy masculine traits.
Like finding the safe space within you.
Yes.
To operate from.
Yeah. Because when we can't allow that for ourselves, we don't create trust for our own inner feminine to show itself. So that's the first thing.
That's when you can start to lack compassion
for yourself,
and all those sorts of things, which then turn back into self-beration and beating oneself up for not getting things right.
Yeah. So one simple practice is like, what we did before, that breathwork practice, coming back to that ball of light and that center that's right in the center of your chest. And it's just through the breath, just coming back to that center within your chest of just pure love and that ball of light that's always there and it's never going anywhere and it's always been there. And sometimes we get caught up in our mind so much that we forget that it's there. We disconnect ourselves from our heart. And when we do that, we rob the true power of us actually leading from the most powerful thing that we have in our body and in this world, in this life, is that big beating ball of energy in our chest. Yeah. So it's connecting with that, and through the conscious awareness of that, you can develop that a higher level of awareness of yourself, emotional intelligence. But then it's also, for a man, grounding his feet in the earth, getting your feet in the sand, getting your feet in the mud,
like physical grounding.
Yep, and breathing into the earth.
Yeah.
Because the masculine is about, and how I explain it and how I teach my clients is the masculine is the structure. So we've got, everything is just made up of energy. Everything is energy, right? On a subatomic level, everything is just energy. Then the next level, what energy is then transmuted into is positive and negative. Yeah. Masculine or feminine.
Yeah. Form, formless.
Yes. Yeah. Structure or flow.
Yeah. Black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we can begin to understand that and develop the relationship with our own inner masculine and feminine, our structure of flow, we can begin to realize that the masculine is about holding the structure and that pillar. Think of it as a big, like you go out in the forest and you see those big trees that just are deeply grounded and they're just rooted. Fucking still.
Yeah.
And then the feminine is the wind that blows through the leaves and moves the tree. And
strengthens the tree as well.
Strengthens, absolutely. Yeah. So, and that the flow is the feminine, the structure and the grounding is the masculine. So now we think about that in relationships. If a man or a woman, whoever decides to hold the masculine pole or the pillar, the masculine structure, without that structure, there can't be the flow of the feminine. For example, if you got a cup of water, right? The cup is the structure. And there can't be a cup of water without the structure, right? So in relationship, in you supporting your own inner feminine energy, you need to be able to create that structure for yourself and for your partner, for the feminine energy to be able to be in and flow. So coming back to what I'm here to do and my purpose, it's to help men be able to tap into that healthy masculine grounded presence so they can create the structure for their own inner emotional body and also the feminine around them as well. Yeah.
Cool. You just went deep. I love that, bro. So, off the back of that, I want to ask you and understand, what are you creating? What are you creating from this point out that is going to serve this purpose of yours?
So, through my own embodiment, And for those people that don't know what embodiment is, it's in the bodiment, it's out of the mind, and it's actually within you as a person. It's
being whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's taking the learning and the knowledge and actually bringing it into the body, into the heart. And through my own embodiment, creating impact around the people around me. But what I'm physically creating with my programs and stuff is a platform and a space, a platform for the understanding, the knowledge and the learning for men to go through to really understand this work that we're not taught. Oh, hello. Hello. Oh, he's so cute.
Can I ask you some questions, my
Yeah.
little lord?
What up, bro? He's so crazy.
We'll keep that.
Keep that in the clip, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, so what I'm creating is a platform for men to come into and understand and learn this work that's never taught, for them to be able to create their own rite of passage, for them to be able to step into their true embodied masculine energy, but then also for me to create the space and the safe container for them to move through all the shit that's actually holding them back from having every single thing that they want. So not only the knowledge, like the mind, right, the learning, right, but also the embodiment, helping them actually bring it into their body and actually become it themselves. Because, and I say this to all of my clients, I don't want this and my work to just be another program that someone's done. I want it to be the program that someone did that changed their life forever. Yeah, so that's what I'm creating. Yeah.
Epic, bro. And what's your vision for the next 5 to 10 years then? Given this creation, but also for your life, like where would you like to be? What would you like to be doing? What would you like to be experiencing?
Yeah. Taking my inner journey to an even deeper level, understanding myself, really meeting the depth of myself, going deep into my personal spiritual journey, the learning, the knowledge, like that's, I just want to, the next 5-10 years, I want to immerse myself and just become extremely valuable and knowledgeable so I can create more impact in the world, help more people. That's me on a personal level. And with my partner and I, like with Nikki, we're planning on traveling the world while also being able to build and create this impact as well. I see myself impacting thousands of men, and not just men, but women as well, through this work, through in-person events, through helping people understand the emotional body, going deep into breath work and meditation, and holding that container in live events, in person, virtually, just giving it this gift that I've received to everyone, because it's not mine to hold on to. It's I was given this gift to give to the world of this work, and I want everyone to be able to experience this level of joy and happiness and fulfillment within themselves and within their life, so they can go out there and create a conscious life by design. So yeah, I see myself in the next 5 to 10 years working with and impacting thousands of people, potentially writing a book, speaking on stages all around the world. I already do speaking engagements now, and I'm working with one of Australia's fastest growing personal development companies as well. Dream Out Loud.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to be a part of that journey and that as well. So there's lots going on. Building incredible relationship as well. Yeah, it's the relationship. Yeah, with my partner Nikki, like the journey we've been on as well, and us being able to help other people in relationship has been mind blowing. And that's a lot of other work that we're then getting into to impact more people, is helping people through through relationships. Yeah.
Epic,
Yeah.
bro. Yes, I'm excited to see and witness this. And based on what I've witnessed in the last year and a half of knowing you, like you're on your way to the moon, my bro. So, while you're on your way to the moon, and this is just something that we all face in life, are challenges. So, to this point, how have you navigated the biggest challenges you faced? And what are your tools and tricks that you are going to be utilizing for your future for any challenges that come up along the way?
Yeah, I love this. Love this question. I know what the answer is now. What it was previously was a lot of force.
Matter versus matter.
Force, gotta just make it happen. Gotta wake up at 3 a.m. and just make it happen. When I left the gym, I remember the gym owner, we had a meeting and I was like, look, this, I'm on this path now, this is where I'm going, and I'm leaving the gym. She was like, how incredible, like you have literally forged your way through life to this far. Like you have made it work, like through carpentry, through everything I've done, like I've forged it. And that's been from like my mindset, just
going,
taking action and just doing shit, just doing it, right? Now what it is I've begun to learn to trust that I'm on a journey and that I'm being guided. And now it's more of I'm trusting in my guidance and in my path. I still obviously have that mindset to get out there and do the things that I don't want to do sometimes, have that integrity. That's all it is integrity. But listen to this more and be guided by this more, and come back to this heart space, because there's, when we're faced with challenges, the only challenge there is out there. Whether it's
in there.
Yeah. Whether it's like, think about it, like when we're faced with real challenge, it's past, or we're thinking about the future. We have anxiety, fear of what could happen. Could I lose the money? Is this relationship going to work? Then we're challenged, right? Or we're challenged with the past experiences, the trauma, the wounding, whatever.
I did this, I didn't do this.
Yeah.
Regrets.
Yeah. But when we come back to this, in the moment, none of it exists apart from pure love. Pure love and light is only in the present moment. And that's now what I'm doing to work through challenges. And obviously being able to do that, it's not about avoiding and neglecting all the challenges that arise in the physical world. It's about coming back to what's true to you and just following it and just being here. And normally when you come back to here, I've never made a wrong decision. And I can imagine you're the same as well.
Yeah, every time I really give myself space, if I am going through something that might be challenging or might be pressing some sort of button of mine, when I've had the biggest breakthroughs are when I've dropped into the fullness of my feeling and the fullness of my body and sat in it all and responded and returned what I need to put back into the world from that place of being in the depth of my being.
Yeah.
And that's when all the breakthrough moments have happened for me.
Yeah.
When there have been, whether it's relationships or friendships or other dynamics that have provided some form of difficult situation or challenge, which is hard, and when there's expectations and a bunch of other things are at play, I've been able to drop in and just go, hold up.
Yeah.
Okay, and then come back from that place rather than boom on the defensive and throwing knives back at it.
Yeah, operating from the wounded ego.
Yeah. Oh, that's not right. You did this wrong. You did this.
Yeah.
You did this. Like, I guess the victim mindset in some way, shape, or form. And probably for me as well is coming back to that question: how am I responsible for this? How can I take responsibility for this situation? Even if it's someone that did something to me, how can I take some form of responsibility for this? And just accept it as is.
Yeah. And it's, and when it comes back to challenge, it's like coming back to that, to yourself first, and it's not saying that the physical pain that you experience from those challenges is going to go away.
Yeah, it's also not condoning those things,
Yeah.
right? By being in your heart and being in love and
Uh-huh.
light, like, yeah, it's okay if you like stab me in the leg, like I can just be in my heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, no, actually, I'm putting up some firm fucking boundaries right now.
Yeah.
From my heart, from the depth of my being. I'm not accepting any of this.
And it's also, it's like, it's also about, like I said, like you're gonna feel the feelings in the body of like, this might be challenging or shit right now, or quite uncomfortable, and I want to run away or avoid or seek distractions. But it's the real practice and the real work is being present and grounded in the shit.
Yeah.
That's the real work. Yeah. Last night I had, and to be fully transparent, I'm like fully open about this stuff. Like within my relationship, I experienced my partner was behaving a certain way, and she was just being herself, authentically herself. And it triggered me, and I was like, oh, why does this hurt so much? And then I was like, come back to this place, come back to the heart, to the centeredness, and I was like, okay, what's really coming up for me right now? And what was coming up was the wounding of never feeling enough, of not feeling worthy enough, the wounding of will I ever be enough, was coming up and showing its face in the form of a trigger and resentment towards a situation or whatever was happening. And it's being able to be like, come back to that place of like, okay, let me work through. And I remember last night, said to Nikki, I was like, just so you know, I'm not angry, I'm not upset or anything right now. I've got something to sit with. I'm experiencing some shit and some emotions. And it's just something that I just need to sit with for a bit. We can speak about it. I'll speak on it whenever I feel ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's taking that radical responsibility of your wounding or your shit or whatever's actually coming up, right? Whether or not it feels like they've done it, right? It's being able to, and that's the real practice again, is being able to take full responsibility when you could blame them for everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, projecting it outwardly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The answers for everything in our lives are always within us, right? There's no amount of stuff that we can get from the outside that's going to change the realness of what's inside of us. Wow.
Roger that.
Yeah, dude. So, do you have anything else that has supported you deeply on your journey that you would like to share?
Yeah, I do. Do you want me to say it?
I know. Let's stop right here.
Cliffhanger.
Cut.
Part 2 coming. Yeah, and for anyone watching this, male, female, like anyone, their personal development journey, the people you spend the most time with, we all hear it.
Yeah.
We all hear it. It really hit me again over the weekend when I had one of my greatest friends staying with us for a few days, and we're sitting there in a circle in my living room, me, Nikki, and Todd. We're gonna sit there, and I'm just like, this man is so full of wisdom. I have so much to learn from his experiences and everything. And I've intentionally put myself in this situation to be around someone that's borderline a fucking genius. And because I've put myself in this situation and I look around the people around me, like yourself, him, I see, all of my other friends, like our casual conversations are about like creating impact around the world, like on a global scale, making thousands of dollars a month. Like Some of them are making, you know, 6 figures every month, like in their businesses, and it's expanding my possibility of my awareness of what's possible in this reality, in this dimension, this time, in this space. Then, you know, within that, then being able to connect with my now partner, and it's like I've just put myself in the best possible position for success in every form and shape, however you view that. And I looked back at that over the weekend. I was like, I'm so proud, because I'm grateful that I understood how important it was to be around the right people. And I know you know that as well. And I look at the journey that I've been on, and you know, what I've created so far and where I'm going has come down to being around the right people, getting around people that are doing what I dream about doing, and serving them or helping them in some sort of way that they want to then give back to me, and then creating an incredible friendship and inner circle of men, of embodied conscious masculine men that have been role models and representations of what it means to be a healthy conscious man on purpose. And that's what also men are missing these days. So it's getting around those people, and it's, you don't have to know where they are. You just have to set the intention and know exactly what kind of energy that looks like, and you'll attract it in. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. And I think that's a beautiful way to wrap it all up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking your time out this morning to meet on this beautiful beach in Burleigh.
Oh, so good.
We are so blessed here.
Yeah.
I am going to miss this place. However, I'll be back at some point.
Yeah, I'll see you in Bali.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get back. Ew.
Sig!
Whoa, wee, whoa.
That was powerful.
Thanks for listening to this epic conversation with Ryan. As a little bonus, I've added a breathwork / meditation practice we did to begin the session, so feel free to listen to that. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. You. A little bit nippy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels good. Feels good to be in the cold sand.
We can do one where we breathe 11 breaths from our lower, from the ground up to us. Actually, I'll take you through one that I was doing yesterday.
All right.
So you take a breath in from everything beneath you up to your heart, and then you breathe everything from above you for a full breath down into your heart, and then you breathe everything from in front of you into your heart, and then you breathe everything from behind you into your heart,
cool.
and then everything from your left into your heart, and then everything from your right. So you go bottom, top, front, back, left, right.
Epic.
And so it's just we're just centering ourselves.
Yeah.
As much like that's like the ultimate. I just connected with this last night. Like just the ultimate way to center yourself.
Cool. So how many breaths?
So we're gonna do 3 rounds of it. So it'll be 6 breaths each round. So from beneath to the middle, from above to the middle, from in front, from behind, from the left, from the right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. And if you want to add something to it as well, you can create polarity by using, by breathing black up to your heart and then breathing white from above, and then mixing those together. So like the yin and yang.
Cool.
If you want to add color to it, or light, or more imagery.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
My jam.
Okay. So we'll take a big breath in and a sigh out just to clear it all. Okay, from the bottom. Top. Front. Back. Left. Right. Big breath in and hold. Forgot about the cold for a few seconds then.
Isn't it interesting? It's all an illusion.
Yeah. It just fully disappeared. Yeah, I had been thinking about different forms of connecting into a center. And usually I would just breathe from below and up to my center, and then from above into my center. And I kind of connected because these other meditations I was doing, I was creating when I'd bring my center, I'd create a line, like a line from above to below, from the front to the back, and then from side to side, like 3 different planes.
Yeah.
And I would see them rotating around to center me. And then I was like, why don't I breathe and bring in from these areas, from below to the center, from above, below, from the front to the back, and then from side to side. And when I do that now, and then with the black and the white, like the yin and yang, it just I really actually feel my center. I really connect with it.
I love that. One I learned just recently is connecting with and imagining a pearl right in the center of your chest. And then that pearl is like a little star itself, and it's a little ball of sun and energy and light, and it radiates energy outwards from the center, filling up side to side and back to back, filling up. Yeah.
So you're instead of bringing from the outside, and you're drawing from the inside and creating it out.
Yeah. Then you're drawing there, and you're kind of magnetizing and creating that field of energy and light outwards. Yeah.
Cool. I can just visualizing straight away doing both, bringing the energy in, and then from the energy that you've brought within from all the different directions, then creating it and expanding it back out. Because that's what life is, right? It's a series of contraction and expansion. Expand, we contract. We shut down, we open up. Epic, bro.
Yeah.
Cool.